Good morning, geographers. We've made it finally. Not only are we at the end of our Nigeria unit, but it's also the end of the year. We're so proud of you for your resilience and your perseverance at this time. I know I keep saying it, but it's been such a strange time, and you've all continued to produce work to such a high quality that's really going to set you up so well when we go back to school next year. So for this week, we're going to wrap up our Nigeria case study by looking at how economic growth has impacted the quality of life. So as Nigeria has developed, how have people benefited from that development? You all know, you're experts in the link between economic development and quality of life. So this week we're going to be looking at specific examples of what it looks like in Nigeria. So this is going to be really useful. Every time we ask you for your evidence, you're going to have so much evidence about what quality of life looks like in Nigeria because of their development. So you need to start by reading page 232 to 233, or as always, watch the video. If you press Command or Control and click on that, it'll open in a new tab, or you can copy and paste that link into your browser. You need to take notes on how has quality of life improved. In what ways has quality of life not improved? In what ways has quality of life not improved? Has it improved as expected? And then why do you think that Nigeria has not developed as quickly as other countries such as Malaysia? So linking those 2 points together. And then how is quality of life predicted to change in the future? So just looking at how it's improved, how it could be better, and what it will look like in the future. And there's a table on page 233, a blue table. I want you to tell me what it shows, and then how can we use this information to understand Nigeria's development. Now, usually we'd have an end of topic test. Obviously, I'm not going to do that to you this week, but there is still a quiz. Now, there are some questions in the quiz relating to the summer learning that we're going to be doing. So you need to complete it after you complete the summer learning preparation. I've just put it this far up the list just to make sure that you don't forget that there's a quiz. So it's really important that over summer we continue to think about geography. This work should only take you half an hour a week, and it's just some revision to go over what we have already been over this year. So it's really useful in geography to be able to make links between the units that we're studying, because it's all connected, and we can do that really well if we're really solid about the knowledge that we already have and really solid in our understanding of these topics. What it also means, if we've got a really strong understanding of the content that we've studied, it also means that we're then able to apply those concepts to new situations. So this revision, it will not only make things less stressful in a couple of years when we get to your exams, which you shouldn't be worrying about now, but it will also make you stronger geographers. So the first thing you need to do is read the instructions. There's a link there in the summer work folder on class materials, and I'll show you that in a sec. Complete the RAG checklists, and I'll talk you through that. And then complete a revision timetable based on the areas you marked red or amber. So I've put together an example timetable, and as you can see here, so these are the 6 weeks of the holiday. These are the 3 topics that we need to be revising. And I've identified 3 areas that I might be red or amber in, and I've just set a spaced retrieval timetable. So rather than trying to do all my revision in one day, that's not how revision works. We have to do little bits often rather than all in one go. That's how we make the information stick in our brains, basically. And so just half an hour, and I don't do the same topic every week. I start with tectonics, and then I don't come back to tectonics until 3 weeks later, once I've done the others. And this means that all of this information, as I'm starting to perhaps forget it, I then refresh myself with some new information about that topic as I go through. So I will take you quickly through the instructions and how to use the folder, because there's quite a lot of resources in there. So if we come into Files, Class Materials, and we scroll down to Summer Work, we click on it. What you'll see here, there are the instructions pinned to the top, and then I've broken the information down into each topic. So let's look at the instructions. This year so far, we've studied tectonic hazards, ecosystems, rainforests and hot deserts, and the development gap and Nigeria. This basically says what I've already just said to you, but this is super important. If you are having lessons with the tutor over the summer, you need to only study the topics that we've already studied. So you only study the topics that are listed here. We're doing the AQA exam board. That's the exam board that we use, and it's these topics. If you study other topics that we haven't studied, we're going to be going over them in class anyway, because everybody needs to study those. It's better and it's a more effective use of your time if you focus on trying to secure the knowledge and understanding about these topics that you already have. So, how to use these resources in the folder. In each folder is a checklist outlining the knowledge for each topic. You should have been given one of these at the start of the year. It's just the RAG checklist. RAG your understanding and be really, really honest, because it's entirely for your own benefit. So in each of these folders, topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, is a RAG, is a RAG checklist that goes through everything that you need. So it breaks down the unit. Here we go. It breaks down the unit into the core pieces of knowledge. So as you go through red, amber, green, don't forget to add in the case studies there, Chile and Nepal. And then it's got some additional unit and other skills. So this is obviously less important now at the moment than all of these areas. As I said, be really, really honest. If you can't remember anything, that's fine. We studied it in September. It's been a long year so far. This is entirely for your own benefit. What we have at the bottom is a link to the textbook. These are all hyperlinks. So as you can see, as I go over it, the link comes up. If you press Command or Control and click, you'll be able to follow the link. But I know that for some people the textbook is a little bit dense. It doesn't always make sense. So I've linked to 3 really useful websites. I find the explanations are quite clear, really well laid out. So you can click on these and they'll take you to the overall topic site as well. So you don't have to be trying to navigate websites, and each of the links that are on each of the RAG guides for these websites are different. And finally, I've got some quizzes, so you can check your own learning and you can check your own learning as well after this. So we've got Seneca Learning, which is a fantastic website. It's really interactive as well, and it will give you a little bit of knowledge, and then you can do the quiz on it. And also on Internet Geography, they've put together a number of quizzes that relate very closely to this list. So these are the resources that are available to you online. This is the RAG guide. So you start by ragging your knowledge. You then need to create a revision timetable. You are asked to do that this week before we start And that means that when we start revising, you can basically hit the ground because you know exactly what topic you want to be doing, rather than spending the first day that you're revising just trying to wade through it all. So how to revise, how to use the resources in this folder. So use the resources that are at the bottom of the RAG guide, first of all. There's also a file in there called checklist questions. So each folder has mostly the same stuff in there. It's called questions matched to checklist. And it looks like this, where each of these areas has been turned into a question. And if you can answer all of the questions on this from the top of your head, so just from memory without looking at the textbook or anything, then you've got the kind of the basic knowledge that you need, and then you can work on applying the knowledge, maybe doing some practice exam questions or something. But if you are marking everything as read, start with just focusing on being able to answer these questions, and then build up to being able to answer some exam questions or something like that. There's also a revision booklet. Now we've looked at this before during the last time we did some revision during a half term. It is really, really big. It's just called revision booklet. It covers the whole exam spec. Only do the topics that we've studied. There's no point revising something that you haven't studied before. There's also topics in there that we will never study because some of them are optional. So only do tectonics, ecosystems, or development. When it starts getting to UK development, don't do it. In each topics folder, there's also an end of unit test that we should have completed in class. Now, obviously, for the development gap and Nigeria, that was online. So I'll show you that one in a second. But for tectonic hazards and for ecosystems, we've got the end of unit test that you already sat in class. You should have had that back. You will have had some sort of feedback lesson on it. This will load in a second. And so you can go back and answer these questions. You can't type on this document, but you can always just write them in. Write them down in your own time. In your own book. What they also have is the mark scheme at the bottom. Don't play yourself. Do it seriously, and then you can go through and try and mark them as well. Additionally, there's a folder called past papers. So I've put the 2018 GCSE exams and mark schemes in there. So you can practice trying to complete the exams, and you can also try and practice completing the exams and then mark them afterwards, or you can read the mark scheme and then you can try and draft a perfect answer based on that. So you can practice making sure that you've really, really hit all of the points that you need to. And this is really useful for people that say that they understand the content, but they really struggle with trying to write down answers. So you can see them here. We've got physical, human, and then geographic applications, and then we've got the mark schemes. And if you're not 100% sure which topics you fall into which category, so development in Nigeria is human, and tectonics in the living world, so ecosystems, are physical, and you can also find that at the top here. It will tell you paper 1 or paper 2. In the development gap and the Nigeria folder, I have created a different style of RAG guide. So what I've done is I've matched each area of the RAG guide to the work that we've been doing online. So it's filled with links to all of the work that we've been doing, including the most recent work. So this is what it looks like: causes of uneven development, and then links to Edmodo. You can see as we became a bit more familiar with the technology. So this stuff is all Edmodo. Unfortunately, I couldn't put links to the quizzes. The quizzes are still available though. And then as we've moved on to Teams, links to the instructions, YouTube videos, and then quizzes there as well. So if you've missed any work, you can obviously just go back if you're not 100% sure about, say, transnational corporations in Nigeria, because for whatever reason you weren't able to complete the work that week. You can use your revision time to go back and complete that work. Some of these links go a bit funny when this document is uploaded to Teams, but obviously you can find everything on the YouTube channel. It's all broken down into playlists as well. So there is a playlist called Year 9 Development and Year 9 Nigeria. And at the bottom, we also have we also have all of the links to additional resources that you might need. So it's largely the same, but it just has, because this work was done online, we've been able to link you to the work a bit easier. And finally, there's also a skills booklet. So skills questions are usually only 1 or 2 marks. They're also incredibly frustrating if you get them wrong, because they're the sorts of things like reading a graph or something that we all know how to do, but in the heat of the moment, we may forget. So I've gone through all of the previous exam papers and I've pulled out all of the maths and graph reading skills, basically. And you can see it here, and you can just work your way through some of it. It might take a little bit to load, but and if you download it, all of this formatting will fix itself. And so you can just work your way through all of that as well and practice your geographic skills. So the point of your summer work is to allow you to revise anything that you're not 100% sure on, to secure your knowledge of certain topics, but also just to make sure that we're in the habit of that little and often retrieval practice, that little and often revision, that will make everything make firstly so much more sense, and also a lot less stressful as we get through our GCSE. So your instructions for this week are to complete the quality of life work, look through these instructions, complete the RAG checklists, create a revision timetable, and then your instructions for the summer are to do that revision there. And you'll need to, in the quiz this week, tell us what the topics that you are revising are. So have a little think of that before you try and complete the quiz. Other than that, if you have any questions or anything at all, please remember that we are still available if you need to email us until Friday. But other than that, have a fantastic summer, and we're all really looking forward to you coming back in September.